What's good, guys? How are you all doing? All right, so in today's analysis, we're going to be taking a look at the SQQQ on the small time frame. We'll also be taking a look at XRP along with the rest of the coins you guys have been asking for. We'll also be taking a look at the Russell 2000 right down to the small time frame. Good morning, guys. This guy's saying good morning from the Netherlands. Good morning, bro. We'll also take a look at API 3 because I know I said that I was going to take a look at that, but my mouse died. But let's dive into the markets over here. We'll first take a look at SQQQ. Basically, this is the inverse of the NASDAQ, right? And so far, this looks like an ABC correction to the upside. And then what you have is a 5-wave move up in an ending diagonal, a gap up to the 100% fib. Okay, like if we take a trend-based fib and measure where this ending diagonal took us, we can see here that it's come up to the 1.618 extension. And then if we measure this fifth wave just within this ending diagonal, it's come up to the 100% fib. So there is a very big possibility SQQQ is topped over here. If this is topped and we fill the gap at around 36.41 to 35.42, that would be very telltale signs of a stock market bottom, and we should see a reversal on our hands. But right now it's pre-market. It's about 2 hours before the market opens. It is down about 2% pre-market, so we'll see how this plays out when the market opens. And then we'll also be taking a look at NASDAQ along with the Russell 2000. So the next asset we're going to be taking a look at is the Russell. We're going to dive into the small time frame and on the high time frame, and we'll see exactly where it is relative to the rest of the market structure. Yeah, we'll take a look at JASMI QNT. Good morning, Pib. Just joined the Discord. I'm still learning how to navigate through it. Welcome, bro. Glad to have you aboard. Rip mouse. That's so funny. But yeah, I'm live again. My last live, the mouse died, so I just had to charge it up. But yeah, this is SQQ, currently down about almost 2% pre-market. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look here. Down almost 1%. It was down almost 1.5%. So we'll continue to monitor this. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000 today. Remember, the crypto markets move with the Russell and with the broader market. So before we can take a look at the coins and all the coin requests, I want us to be mindful of where the rest of the where the broader market is. So let's take a look at the Russell over here, RTY, and I'm seeing something very significant on the Russell. This does look like an ending diagonal, a very similar structure to what most altcoins are printing right now. See this ending diagonal right here, where the waves are overlapping each other? We'll take a look at this on the 30-minute, and we'll map out the waves. Or we'll come up to the 4-hour, and then we'll shuffle down between the time frames. So this looks like an ABC correction for the Russell. This is your A wave, your B wave, and then you have your C wave right here. Okay, you see how we came down to the 61.8% fib over here? Okay, now we can go on the small time frame and then just map out all of the subwaves here. Right, this is what I'm thinking here. So it looks like your A wave is finished. And then this was your ABC up for your B wave. So your A, your B, and then your C wave right here. And then you have another 5-wave move down. Right? Now, within this 5-wave move, if we just take a closer look at this this wave 5 of C, we can see that this is your ending diagonal. So let's just see how the market, how the Russell reacts to this region over here. We would mainly want to look for a move above this supply. If we can get a move above this supply zone right here, then we could say that this has a very big chance of this being the bottom right here. Okay. Okay, you see how the waves are overlapping? We see a very similar structure with a lot of altcoins, like for example, KDA. Like if we look at KDA, you guys see this structure. And then you have the throw over right here. Same thing with VeChain. So if we take a look at VeChain on this chart that I made, let's take a look at VeChain. Yeah, so you see VeChain, same ending diagonal structure. A lot of altcoins are printing this exact same structure because it's because the Russell 2000 is doing the same thing. Okay, we can even take a look at, let me see here, CRV. So this is CRV. Let me just find out what chart I put it on here. Yeah, okay, so this is your ending diagonal here on CRV, same thing. See how the waves are overlapping here? Yeah, but this is CRV. And yeah, let's go back, take a look at NASDAQ. NQ. Okay, so this is your 3 down in your A wave, your 3 up in your B wave, and then you have a 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave. Okay, so this would be your 5-wave move down. This is your A, your B, and then your C wave like that. So we'll see how this plays out. I would want to see a move on NQ back above this, these 2 trend lines right here. This level right here, and this level. If we can get a 4-hour close above these 2 levels, then that would be pretty bullish. We also tagged the 702 on NQ as well. Okay, you see how we tag this 702 if we take a fib from our August low up to our December high. You see the crypto market topped out at the same time NQ did. And then we printed a very similar structure with Bitcoin, where we kind of make a double top and then we have this huge flush down below the lows of the range. Okay, so chop around here would be expected. I would mainly want to be taking a look at the Russell though. Okay, yeah, so that's NQ. We can also take a look at ES as well. Let me just set alerts right here. Let's set alerts right there. And we'll take a look at ES right now. Sorry guys, slow Wi-Fi. This thing is taking its time here. Alright, so this is ES. And same structure. 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then a flush down for your C wave. So we'll see how this plays out. Let's not forget that the RSI on the daily has reached into oversold territory. Let's not forget. Okay, you see the daily RSI on ES? It's reached into this oversold territory. The last time it dipped down this low was back here in 2022. So let's see. Yeah, this was the last time. This was the last time S&P 500 dipped this low on the daily RSI, right at the bottom in October 2022. And we've just dipped down there right now. Or like, yeah, we've dipped down there here on the daily. We also dipped down there around this bottom. Right? Right here, you see? So I'd want to look for a bounce to come in around here. But yeah, this is the US stock market. The DXY as well, we're going to take a look at it. Now DXY is breaking down below the 61.8% fib. Let's also not forget that it is below the 200-day moving average. So we have many things to show us that we are entering into a risk-on environment. Before it was risk-off, but now considering the DXY is below the 618, below the 200-day moving average for about a week now, I can confidently say that the bottom should be very close. Okay, this is the DXY, Wyckoff redistribution with a C wave target at around 94, which would be the 78.6% fib. Interim target for the DXY would be at 102.293 at the 786. Okay, so it looks like we're in wave 3 of 3 here. This was your wave 1, your ABC up for your wave 2, a leading diagonal for your wave 1 of 3, ABC up for your wave 2 of 3, and now we're coming down for a wave 3 of 3, which will likely be the most explosive. As you guys can see, this is just a straight drop down here. So it's looking pretty good for the broader markets. And we'll also take a look at some of the coins you guys have been requesting. Let's take a look at total 3. Before we dive into the coin request, let's just take a look at this total 3 here. Now total 3 has dipped down to the 1.382 extension right over here. Okay, we can actually take a look at it on a clear chart, so just so it's a little bit more clear for you guys. Let me see here. Okay, so if we take a fib from our August low here all the way up to this high, we did come down to the 61.8% fib. You see how we perfectly topped it right there? Okay, the 702 lies just below it. Yeah, we'll take a look at PHEX, we'll take a look at ETH, no problem. LCX for sure, no problem. Potential power of 3 on CVX, this is what Hubert is saying. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we'll take a look at Cake, no problem. Okay, so let's just finish up here on total 3. And this does look like most of the downside move is completed here. This is your WXY correction. And then we've also hit this 1.382 extension. Okay. Your wave 1, your wave 2, and this is a 1-2 structure of your wave 3. Okay, look how deep this wave 4 is. We've been within this wave 4 for 97 days now. So over 3 months we've been within this wave 4. So we have time-based capitulation, and then we also have price-based capitulation. Because we're down now by over 37% from these December highs. You see we're missing a 5th wave to the upside here on total 3. I would say worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, we dip down to the 702 at 673. But considering the way it's looking on the RSI, big possibility we could have a bottom on our hands. We'd just be expecting chop around here. Okay, we've also dipped into this region here. You see how it's still holding support. This was our March resistance, and we're coming down to it, tapping it as support. If you guys look, we've never really used this March resistance as support until now. So we tapped it over here, and now we've double tapped it. We had one more drive down. Taking a look at the daily RSI, we also see hidden bullish divergence where we have a higher low structure, but we have lower lows on the RSI. Okay, so this is your hidden bullish divergence. So around here is where I'd be expecting a nice push to the upside. To answer one of my members' questions here, he said, at which point do you think the bull run is over? Well, if we see daily closures below the 702 at 673, then I would say that we would have to reevaluate the structure. But so far, this March resistance here is acting as support. Okay, now you're likely going to see wicks around here. You're going to see chop. And it's going to make people think we're going to go lower, but just stick to the high time frame and we should be okay. Going all the way back to December 2022, this looks like it was your wave 1. We had an A, B, C down for your wave 2. This is your 3rd, 4th, and we're coming up for a 5th wave up here. Okay, this was your ABC down for your wave 2. And this is your wave 3 right here. Okay. Okay, so we would be expecting a top to come in around 1.6 to 1.8 trillion on total 3. So you want to be very careful as we approach that level. Okay, hidden bullish divergence here as well on the daily, and March resistance double tapped as support. This is your A, your B, and then your C wave. Okay. So yeah, that's total 3. Looks pretty good so far. Okay. So we'll keep monitoring this. Let's dive into some of the coins you guys have been asking for, and we'll take a look. I didn't get to Matic. We'll take a look at Matic for sure, no problem. We'll take a look at XRP right now, and so dominance is going to break down, no problem. Appreciate that, Sandal. Appreciate the super chat. Well, yeah, we'll analyze from there, but mainly I would be looking for this level to hold. This yellow region right here on total 3. Okay. So now, what's the most obvious thing XRP can do right now when we have such an obvious head and shoulders right here? The most obvious thing is for us to break down. But the market rarely does what the most obvious thing is. I actually haven't seen anyone really say this is going to reverse to the upside. I've only seen market sentiment saying that we should see more down here on XRP. So I'm thinking this is a huge head and shoulders fake out. But in order to confirm that idea, I would want to see these lows hold here. Like around here. I want to see these lows hold. So we can say that, oh, okay, this is just a head and shoulders fake out. Like that. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking here on XRP. Now, in order to confirm a scenario like this, we would, number one, need to hold this bottom region and then get above these retracements over here. Okay, we would want to look to get back above 269 to 278 on the 4-hour time frame. Once you get a 4-hour close above these two levels over here, then we can for sure say that the low is in. Because if this were to break down, it's unlikely the price would come back up to this region, right? The bearish scenario would be that this is your A, your B, and then your C wave. And then we continue to see the breakdown, or at least see a impulsive move down from here. But getting back up to around 269, 278, it's likely that this over here is the low. So we'll continue to monitor this, and I think what's more important is to monitor what the Russell 2000 is doing. Okay. So we'll see how this plays out here. Okay, let's dive into some of these coins here. Appreciate that, Sandal. Appreciate it. We'll take a look at GLMR and FTT. Matic. Mina as well. So how do I put on the transcript? One of the members here is asking for a transcript, so we'll see if we can add it here. One sec. Let me just see, one sec here. I'm not sure if I can add it right now. Let's take a look at FTT. So FTT, FTX token, right? So it's still within an accumulation range. Worst case scenario, this is an ABC correction and then we break down further. But let's see how these fibs hold up over here. Currently we're on the 786886. Let me see. We're on the 886. So okay. We can actually place it all the way down to the low, from the lowest recorded price of this range. So yeah, on the 786886. So we'll see how this plays out here on FTT. If we do end up breaking up from here on FTT, then we would be looking to tag these, tag this huge inefficiency higher, or at least this supply, you know, and then see the breakdown from there. If FTT token breaks out here, it's likely to be a dead cat bounce towards the retracement levels. Okay. So the weekly stock RSI is at the lows. Yeah, so it's FTT is still holding the retracements here. So I'd want to see how it reacts within this region. Okay, let's take a look at some more coins here. Yeah, we'll take a look at Algo. So now it looks like GLMR, Glamour, it made a new low, but you see this is your established range right here, right? This is your established range, and then this is your range low. So we can't rule out the possibility that this is deviation below the range low before we see that push up, right? Now something that would invalidate this is if we just kept going lower. But as soon as you get back above 15 cent, then it's likely that this would be deviation. If we continue lower, then it's unlikely this will recover. But I really like how he swept these lows over here. And then you also mentioned that, or one of the members in the chat also mentioned that this is bullish divergence on the daily. So we'll also take a look at that as well. And yeah, we see bullish divergence here. So whenever you have an established range, right? This is your established range. And then you dip below the range. you would want to check the RSI from this point before the last swing high down to the low, and if it prints bullish divergence and gets back up to the range low, then it's very likely this was just deviation, and then you have continuation up. So this could be a power of three setup where you have accumulation, where all of the retail accumulate, you have manipulation under the range before you have expansion to the upside. So I would want to see how GLMR plays out over here, because it's looking good so far. Might see a reversal. Yeah. See? This also looks like a perfect 5 waves down. You guys see that? How this looks like a perfect 5 waves down here. 786 tapped, and then when we go down to the smaller time frame, like on the hourly, we also see 5 waves. Right? Extension of the 5th wave. Yeah. Would like to see a move above this level here on GLMR to confirm the bottom is in over here. Okay, and then you also have bullish divergence on the hourly time frame. So looks pretty good, looks oversold. Okay, so this is cake. I know a lot of you in the chat are invested into this coin. This simply just looks like a wave 2 correction as long as this 78.6% FIB can hold. Okay, you see how we're on the 786 here? We're on the 786. Okay. This is your 5 wave move up with an extension in the 5th wave, and then this would be your A, B, and then an extension of the C wave. Very deep correction. So as long as this 786 can hold, then we could say that this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2, and we would be headed towards the $7 region for the wave 3 as long as this low can hold. So it looks something like this. Right? And then you have a 5th wave towards our macro target. Okay, and then we would have a wave 4, and then you have your wave 5 up here. So AJS is asking for XYO. No need to worry, guys. I'm gonna be doing, this is gonna be a long live stream. I'll try to get to every coin, so no need to worry. We'll work on the coins one by one. But yeah, so with cake, as long as the 786 can hold at 145, 143 region, then it wouldn't surprise me we have a third wave up here to around the $6.80 level. See a wave 4 pullback before we have a wave 5 towards the macro 618 at around 10 to 12 bucks. Okay. We may even wick to the 702 here at 14 bucks as a wick. It's possible. And then I would be expecting a move back down to these range highs. Okay. Remember, this is only if this low can hold. Remember that. Okay. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. VeChain we'll take a look at. I actually took a look at VeChain today in the Discord for my members. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, then I would recommend doing so. You guys can talk to me in there. Ask me any question you want. I think there's a sale going on. I'm not sure if my admin enabled it yesterday, but there should be a sale on my Discord, so if you guys want to check that out, you can take a look. So let's move into more of the coin requests here. Let's take a look at API 3. Okay. Okay, so this is API 3 over here. As you guys can see, we just had an extended fifth wave. That's all we had here on API 3. If we measure the waves all the way back to December, okay? So we have bullish divergence here on the 4-hour RSI. Notice how we have a lower low from our wave 3 low down to our expected wave 5 low. I'll make it red. So you see this is a lower low, and then on the 4-hour RSI we have a higher low. So that's your bullish divergence. And then when we come down to the hourly time frame, right here, we dipped into oversold territory over here when this 5th wave hit the 618. Now remember, this is the hourly time frame. When we zoom into this 5th wave, notice how we also have 5 waves down here. Okay. This is your 5 waves down. Really, yeah, so this is what I see. So I should be expecting a bottom to come in around here. And be looking for a move back towards $2.07 to 225, because that's the 702.786 retracement. Looking at this on the daily time frame, we do have a perfect ABC correction down here. And we also have waves of equal length. We came just shy of the 1.236, but so far this is a 1-to-1 extension. It went just a little bit below it, but if we measure this C wave, this is in almost the equal length of this A wave. But yeah, this is API 3. Let's take a look at PHEX, and we'll also take a look at ETH. Then we'll work on JASMI and QNT, and we'll also take a look at Mina coin. I know one of the members here was asking for Mina in the last 2 streams, but we never got to it. So we'll take a quick look at Mina, see how that's performing. But first, let's take a look at PHEX and then ETH. So this is ETH right here. As you guys can see, it has come down to these 70.2% fibs. So when we take a fib from our June 2022 low up to the high that we had in March, we can see that it's come down to the 702. Now, as long as the 702 holds here at 1826, then it wouldn't surprise me that we go and have this 5th wave to the upside for what's called a expanding ending diagonal. Notice how in the diagonal, the 5th wave is the most explosive. Okay, this looks like a spitting image of what ETH is doing right now. You see how similar this is? Even when it comes down to this initial bump, this wave 1, you see how deep this wave 2 retracement is? Something that we had very similar on ETH. You had your initial bump, a very deep retracement, and then the waves start to overlap here. Now, most of the sentiment is that ETH is done. ETH is in a bear market. but usually when you come down to the 702 or even the 786 and the sentiment is negative, you're likely going to see a reversal there. And for the people that have been following me for a long time, they know that when you come down to the 702, 786, that's when you see sentiment at its worst. So what I'm thinking here on ETH is that this is just deviation below these range lows over here. And look what we have here on ETH. We have a perfect 5-wave move down. Okay, something to be very mindful of, right? This is your A, B, C down for your A. We'll make it blue so you guys can see. This is your A, B, C up for your B. And then for your C wave, you're going to have a 5-wave move down. Okay, this is your 5-wave move. There's your 5 waves. Looks completed. Okay, so within this red region that I marked out here is where I'd be expecting chop to take place before we have a retraction back into the range. Going forward on ETH, I wouldn't want to see the 70.2% fib get lost on the daily time frame. So that's at 1826. And then I would also want to see a retraction on the 4-hour back into the range at 2160. So if we can get back into the range here and then hold above it, then we should be good for expansion to the upside. For the 5th wave, in what's called a ending expanding diagonal, likely to be the most explosive wave. You can even consider it like a blow off top, right? Now, this deviation above this macro range over here would be called your upthrust after distribution. So this would be called your UTAD. Very similar structure to what we have going on with the Russell 2000. I'm going to show you the Russell 2000 very quickly, and you can see how similar this is. You can see how similar this is right here. See how similar this is? We topped at the same time, bottomed out at the same time, right? And then we're gonna have what's called upthrust after distribution, and then that's when the bear market starts. So when you get into this red region, when you have deviation above the range high, this would be your danger zone. Very similar structure to EAM or iShares MSCI. So this is iShares MSCI. It's equities. It's the index of equities. So we'll go on the weekly. You guys see that? We're just looking for this deviation up here. Now with this push up is when I would be expecting risk assets to go crazy high, I should say. But yeah, that's ETH, and then we'll also take a look at PHEX here. Okay, so this is PHEX. I would be expecting chop around this region. We did come down to the 61.8% fib. Now, like I said in the previous analysis, this is a head and shoulders pattern. There's no doubt about it. Okay? And we're likely going to see price action trade below the neckline. Okay, now the longer the price consolidates below this neckline, the better, because then we can consider it like a ball underwater. So what I'm thinking here on PHEX is that this is a head and shoulders fake out, something that would invalidate this idea would be to go below the 618 and come down to the 702 and 786 retracement at 0.006 and 0.0057. But so far, as long as the price oscillates between the 50 and the 61.8% fib, or just mid-range here, then we should see a nice pop up. Now, I'd mainly want to look for P hex to hold this region and to see total 3 have a pop to the upside. So as long as P hex holds that region and then we see total 3 breaking out, then we can say for sure that, oh, okay, this is just consolidation below the neckline before continuation. Okay, otherwise, this will just be an ABC correction like that, and then we go up from there, right? It would just mean that this is a little bit of an extended C wave, but regardless if it's this head and shoulders fake out or if it's an ABC, the structure is still bullish. Because in both scenarios, this would be your wave 1, okay? And this would be your wave 2. So yeah, that's P hex. I also showed you ETH, which is bullish too. So take a look at some more coins. Let's see what you guys are asking for. Let me see here. Okay, so Cape Town is asking, do you think Flare is dead in the water? I don't think Flare is dead in the water. We covered Flare in the last live stream. It has come down to the 88.6% fib right over here. I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is Flare right here. Look at Flare. Flare is having a nice morning, and it just had a very deep wave too. That's what I'm thinking here on Flare. Invalidation of this idea would be to see a daily close below this 886 at 0.0136. So if we have a daily closure below that level, then that would invalidate this scenario in which this is just a wave 2, a deep wave 2 before we have that wave 3 to the upside. Okay, so chop within this red region is what I would be expecting. And then when we take a look at the RSI, we also have bullish divergence. Lower lows on the price, but higher low on the RSI. Let's go on the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours, same thing, right? So yeah, Flare looks good. The Flare looks pretty good. As long as it holds the 886 here. It needs to hold the 886 in order for this bullish bias to remain intact. Looking at Flare on the daily time frame, I'm still expecting 30 cent to get hit. Let's take a look at Flare on the Bitrue chart so we can account for the wicks. And you could just simply take a fib from this high down to this low, and you can see that the 4.236 extension is right there at 30 cent. So I think that we're gonna wick to there. I think we're gonna wick to that level. Okay, these are your TP levels in a very simplified format. This was, so the reason I don't think Flare is dead is because even if this was a dead cat bounce, right? We're missing a C wave to the upside. This would be your A wave or your wave 1. This is your B wave or your wave 2. And this looks like a 1, 2. And then we have a 3, 4, 5 all the way up there for your wave C or your 3. Okay, so that's what I would be expecting on Flare. Even if this was a dead cat bounce, we would still get up to the higher fibs to fill this, to come back to tap this supply zone. Okay, now remember this level has to hold here. in order for our bullish bias to remain intact. This is flare on the Bitrue chart. We'll take a look here. So yeah, this level needs to hold here on flare. So yeah, that's flare. Okay, let's see what other coins there are here. Okay, so I did API 3. We should see a bottom come in around here. We have bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. And GLMR I did, FTT. Okay, so we're gonna do some of the requests from the channel members. We'll take a look at Doge, CRO. Let me see what other coins. Yeah, so Doge, CRO, and Most Wanted, for sure. And but before we take a look at that, I just want to take a quick look at Mina coin, because I promised a guy that I would do it. I promised a guy in the chat that I would do it, but I didn't get around to it. So we'll take a look here at what it's been doing. So this is your range here on Mina coin, and very similar to that of GLMR, we have an established range. So look at GLMR, right? We have an established range, and we dipped below the range for what may be deviation. So I'll show you guys here. So you see how GLMR had your range here, and then we dipped below the lows of the range. Same thing with Mina coin. And usually price always comes back to the value area high of the range. The value area high on GLMR is sitting at 40 cent. And let's check the value area high of Mina coin. Now I wouldn't want to see Mina coin go any lower than this. But let's check the value area high here. And the value area high is sitting at 91 cent. POC, or point of control, where 70% or more of the volume is traded, sitting at 62 cent. So I would be expecting a move back to 62 cent and back to 92 cent on Mina. You can take a look at this like a Wyckoff accumulation range, or you can also take a look at it like a broadening bottom pattern. You see, this is your broadening bottom, and then what you can do is take out your RSI to get confluence. And so far on the weekly, we have hidden bullish divergence, or slight hidden bullish divergence forming. On the daily, we have bullish divergence right here. Lower low on the price, higher low on the RSI, with the RSI dipping into oversold territory. Okay, so that's Mina coin right here. This is an example of a broadening bottom pattern. You see? See how extended this can get? Okay, this is your broadening bottom pattern. Very similar to what we have going on with Mina. Okay, this is an example. This is another example right here. You see how extended this last point of support is? How extended it is to the downside, and you make 3 floors here, but only slightly sweep the low before having a bounce. And for Mina coin, we see the same thing. We have 3 floors here, with the lows sweeping, with the lows getting swept and then seeing the bounce. You see the lows slightly get swept and then you see the bounce. So this looks like your last point here. A worst case scenario, it just continues its way down. But I'm trying to see an optimistic view first. And this is what I see on Mina coin. Okay, let's take a look at Doge and CRO. Okay, so this is Doge. It's come down to the 786. So now we were around here, and I said we were going to come down to the 702. We lost the 702, but now we're on the 786. So not only are we on the 786 here, but we've also come down to tap this accumulation range as support. Now, this is by taking a fib all the way down from your range low back in October 2023 up to this high that we had here in December 2024. You see how we came down to the 786 here? So as long as the 14-15 cent level holds, then I would be expecting a push up from here. Okay, we're missing a 5th wave here on Doge. Okay, so it's hit the 1.786 extension as well. So when we take a trend-based fib to this to measure the C wave, notice how we bounced at the 1.786, and then we also bounced at the 786 when we use our regular fibs. So that's something very noteworthy. Taking a look at the RSI and the stock RSI, let's see if we notice anything. Okay, so looking at the RSI here on Doge, it has dipped into this oversold territory. The last time it was this low, let's see, that was at the bottom back in, let me see here. Back in 2023, right around here, that was the bottom. So RSI oversold, and stock RSI printing bullish divergence here. So lower lows on Doge, but equal lows on the RSI on the daily, and then lower lows on the price with a little bit of a higher low on the stock. Okay, so as long as this 786 holds and this structural support over here, which was our previous resistance, then it wouldn't surprise me that Doge has a nice pop to the upside. Now, if and when Doge takes off, you'd want to look to take profit at these fibs over here. Now, all I did to find these fibs is just take a fib from the last all-time high down to the bear market low. And yeah, these would be your fibs. You'd want to look to take profit all along here. Okay. Let's take a look at CRO. See what it's doing. Yep, so CRO is looking fine. No significant changes from the previous analysis. Taking a look here on the weekly time frame. Let me just change the background of the chart just so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so going back to 2019 on CRO, we have a 5-wave move to the upside in the form of a leading diagonal with your wave 5 throw over here. Okay, so this is your wave 1 or your A wave. Then for your bear market, we come down for your B wave or your wave 2. Now it looks like we're starting our next macro leg to the upside, and within this macro leg, this is just a running flat. Yeah, so this just looks like a running flat over here, like that. See? So within this yellow region is where I'd be expecting a bottom to come in on CRO. If we end up losing 0.067 on the weekly, then it's likely going to do our alternate scenario in which we're not finished our C wave, and it'll come down to around 4 to 3 cent. This is the least likely scenario considering where the rest of the market is. But within this yellow region over here is where I'd be expecting a bounce. Taking a look at the RSI, we also have Class C bullish divergence, where we have a little bit of a higher low on the RSI, but an equal low on the price. So it's not the strongest divergence, but it's still there. And then the daily RSI dipped into oversold territory right over here. So I would say this is a good place to pick up some CRO if you haven't, or if you're interested in this coin. Very similar correction to that of Link. So I'm going to show you guys this. Let me see here. So this is your running flat. The C wave doesn't come down to terminate all the way. Okay? Same thing with CRO. The C wave didn't come down all the way. It just kind of made a double bottom here. So as long as that yellow region can hold there, then it wouldn't surprise me that we see a push to the upside on CRO. Don't forget that CRO is an exchange token. So crypto.com is going to be propping up their own coin with the profits they make. That's just an assumption. But it's a scenario that's likely to occur. Just like BitGet buys their own token, I think it's called. I forgot what their token is called. Let me see. BGB, right? BitGet buys their own token, so it wouldn't surprise me that Crypto.com would be buying CRO here. Let's see what other coins we got here. So target for Doge around 90 cent. 90 cent to $1. So let's do a quick analysis on Doge. Or sorry, no, a quick analysis on VeChain, I mean. We'll check it out. Now look at VeChain. This looks like a running flat, but it looks like it just manifested in the form of a WXY. Like looking here at the hourly time frame on VeChain, we have what's called an ending diagonal, where the waves overlap here within the fifth wave. You see how the waves are overlapping here? And then what you're going to have for your wave 5 is a throw over or a deviation below the bottom end of the diagonal. Okay, so this is what I would be expecting. A bottom to come in around here and then eventually see a push back up to these two levels. So it'd be expecting chop around here, so don't panic if we see chop here. And definitely don't over leverage, but this does look pretty good, considering we also have bullish divergence on the 4-hour RSI. Okay, there's your bullish divergence. Now this is what I show in, I've shown it in many of my videos. Whenever you have an ending diagonal, you would want to look for two things. You would want to look for bullish divergence from this point down to wherever this wave 5 comes to. The second thing you'd want to look for is a throw over. If you see a throw over or deviation below this pattern, and then you also see bullish divergence or RSI dipping into oversold territory, then it's likely an inflection point. You have people going max short as we break down from here, and then you see the push up. Okay. Here's an example. So these are just some examples of an ending diagonal. And we see the exact same thing with the Russell 2000, an ending diagonal within the fifth wave. Russell 2000 up almost 1% this morning. Okay, so we'll see how this plays out here. You may come back down here within this red region and chop around, but yeah, we'll see how it plays out. This is SQQQ. This is basically, you can think of it like the NASDAQ but inverted. But yeah. So I believe one of the members here asked for Phoenix in the last live stream, but I never got to it. So we'll take a look at Phoenix, and I'll see if there's any So where's everyone from? Where's everyone from in the chat? I know a lot of people here from America. We got some people in the Netherlands here. XRP is not for the weak. Yeah, I agree. XRP is one of the coins where many people suffered. Even the holders suffered. But yeah, just got a hodl, right? Greece, Sweden, Switzerland, let's go. Nice. Australia, yeah, I know I have a lot of Australian followers. It's pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna take a look at HBAR, and then we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Matic, I know KB was asking for Matic in the last stream, so we'll watch that for sure. California, HBAR, Germany, California, London, nice, pretty cool. That's nice, guys. So Phoenix, I promised the guy I was gonna take a look at this, and so now there's two scenarios I see here. I just want to make sure that we have the full history of the chart. Okay, so now there's two scenarios that I see here on Phoenix. One of the scenarios is that this is just an AVC correction, like that. And then these would be all of the retracement and support levels. And as you guys can see, we did come down to the 50% fib. So this is either we have continuation up with confirmation being a move above the 786, or we just come up to the retracements and we have a little bit of a deeper C wave down. Okay. It goes back to the different types of flats that can be seen in the market. See, you see the different types of flats here? I'll show you guys. So just take a look at the left side of the screen. You have your regular flat, your expanded flat with an extended C wave, and then you also have a running flat where the C wave fails to terminate beyond the bottom of your A wave. So this regular flat pattern, this actually looks a lot like V-chain. The running flat looks a lot like Link. And a lot of coins are doing this right now, including Phoenix. So Phoenix, this could be a regular flat, or it could be an expanded flat. That's what I'm thinking here with Phoenix. But if the bullish scenario does get validated, where we see a move above the 702.786, above these two levels, then it's likely going to come towards the higher retracements, sitting at this region right here. Okay, these two levels, about a 200 to 300% gain towards these retracements, as long as this low holds. Okay, we'll continue to monitor it to so I can keep you guys updated. Let's take a look at H bar. Take a look at H bar, and then we'll also take a look at Bitcoin dominance. So this is H bar. We covered it in this morning's stream. We had a stream before this one, very quick one, and it is holding this previous resistance as support. You see how many times we've rejected off of this diagonal resistance? 4 times we've rejected off of it over the span of 2 years, almost 2 years. Now we finally got above it. We had the breakthrough, and now we're coming down to tap it as support. So what you're likely to see here is chop within this region, but would definitely not want to see any weekly closures below this region right here. Let me see, this level. So I'd be looking for maybe a wick down here, or it's in over here. I'm not really sure, but around this region is where I would be expecting a bottom to come in, because you'd not only be coming down to the 38.2% fib support, but you'd also be tapping this previous resistance as support as well. Okay, wave 5 or last wave target for H bar would be around 77 cents to $1.15. So as we approach the upper boundary of this channel that we have here, you see this macro channel? As we approach this region, that's where you'd want to look to scale out. It can definitely, there is a scenario in which this goes higher, but that's the last thing you would want to be hoping for if price gets to around here, because it could come down into a bear market from there, right? So yeah, this is H bar. Be patient on H bar. It's just consolidating at these lows. Next point of interest on H bar to the upside would be sitting at 35 cent, which is also the 786 measured from the December high down to the low that we have here. So yeah, that's H bar. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. So this is Bitcoin dominance over here. So there's two scenarios that I see here on Bitcoin dominance. One of the scenarios is that we come up to this 786 at 66.45% and then see a massive push down from there. The other scenario is that the top is already in at the 786 on the logarithmic scale. Okay, now when we invert the chart and take a look at this on the weekly time frame, we do see that this is an ending diagonal where the waves overlap each other. And the reason I'm so confident that Bitcoin dominance is likely to see a hard reversal is because we have triple negative divergence on the RSI. Now, usually when you spot divergence on the RSI when you're trending within a diagonal structure, you're likely going to see a breakdown. So if the top is in here, or if it's just a little bit higher, it's still considered the top, right? This is your consecutive lower highs on the RSI on the weekly, but consecutive higher highs within this diagonal. Okay, now, so it's either the top is in here at 64.69%, or the top is going to be here at 66.19%. Either way, it does look like the top is in here on Bitcoin dominance. And then we should be making our way down to this weekly inefficiency, or this inversion fair value gap. Notice how we have two gaps lining up with each other, and that would also be your 702.786 measured from your 2022 low. So this is Bitcoin dominance. This is what I see. Either the top is in, or we see one last push here before a swift move down. So it's either we fill the wick here and then see a push down like that, or it goes above the 786, the interim 786, and then sees the push down from here. Okay? Either way, this does look like a top. So there's your two scenarios. And then within your ending diagonal, you're going to see the waves subdivide into three waves. That's what you're going to see. Notice how the waves are very messy, very choppy, and they're overlapping each other. That can only be seen if it's corrective or if it's a diagonal structure. In this case, we have a diagonal structure. So it's either this is the top or we come up here. But yeah, that's Bitcoin Dom. Looks pretty good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So Norton is asking for cake. We covered cake a few times in the live. As long as it stays above 143 to 145 on the daily time frame, then it should be good for a move to the upside. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking for most wanted on Pulse Chain. So we're going to take a look at most wanted. AVAX for sure. I know Dubai Fitness is asking for AVAX. He asked for it in the last live stream, but my mouse ended up dying, so no worries, we'll take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at most wanted here. Now, this coin is very risky. It could rug at any second, but I'll do my best to analyze it. Okay, so in the last live stream, I did say if we lose the range low, then it's likely going to come down to the 618, and it looks like we just bounced here at the 618. Not only have we bounced at the 618, but we've also had deviation below this established low over here. This is your established low. This is your deviation below the range. Okay, so remember, as long as this 618 holds, then I would be expecting a move like this, where we have that push to the upside or expansion. This would be your spring. So you have your power of 3 set up here. You have your accumulation. You have your accumulation, your manipulation, and then you have your expansion. Okay, that's what I see here. This is just taking a look at it from a very simple point of view. And then this would be like that. This would probably look something like that. Okay, so what I would want to be looking for on most is for the 61.8% fib to hold. In order for us to get this expansion to the upside. And then I'd also want to look for a 4-hour close back into this range. So if we can get a 4-hour push above 7 cent, around 0.067 to 7 cent, then it wouldn't surprise me that we see rapid expansion. Be very careful of this coin. It's very high risk, but I know a lot of you are Degens or Degens or like to invest in coins like this. But yeah, looks pretty good here. Bounce off the 618 and then manipulation under this established low. For the targets would just change a little bit. So we'll just move this down. We'd be looking at 64 cent, which would be the 2.618 measured from the highest recorded price down to the lowest recorded price. So So yeah, that's most. It's trending up right now. And then you also have bullish divergence here on the hourly. Lower low, but a higher low on the RSI. Okay. So it's looking good. And then on the daily, we have so yesterday's daily candle was a bullish engulfing. Let's see if it can sustain itself. There's no guarantee it will, but let's see how it plays out. Okay, what other coins are you guys asking for? XTC, XYO. Thanks for reminding me about XYO, appreciate it. UFO, AVAX. No problem. I just want to take a quick look at the Russell right now. So now we've gone through some coins. We've gone through some coins, and we've noticed that we have an ending diagonal, very similar to that of what the Russell is doing right now. Okay, altcoins follow very closely to the Russell. Remember that. So I want to see a push. I'd want to see a push on the 4 hour above this 50 EMA on the 4 hour, which would be at 2,100. Okay, if we can get a 4 hour push above 2,100, that would be pretty good. I'm dead. Oh, so this is so DeFi Degen. Are you talking about most wanted, or no? You're talking about DFDX. Okay, well we'll take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at AVAX. I know a lot of people have been asking for this coin. We'll see. We'll see if we find anything. You know, AVAX is looking a lot like ETH. Looks like a little bit of an expanded flat going on. Okay, ABC down within your A wave, ABC up within your B wave, and then for your C wave, we're gonna have a 5-wave move to the downside. So this is your range right here. Remember, whenever you come to the chart, always place 3 horizontal lines on the chart so you can see deviations. And you can establish your range. That's what I would recommend to you guys. Always place these 3 lines on the chart. You just want to eye it. Okay? But yeah, this is AVAX. And we do have 5 waves down here. We do have 5 waves down here. This would be your A wave, your B wave, and then your C wave down. We'll make this yellow. Okay. And then now there's a few ways you can find the targets here. You could take a trend-based fib from the top of your A wave, but in this case our B wave is a little bit higher, so we'll just take it from the top of this this subwave B of your A wave down to the bottom of your A and up to the top of your B. And we'll take a look at where exactly it's hit. Okay, so it's hit the 1-to-1 extension over here. You see how we came down to the 1-to-1 extension? All that means is that we have waves of equal length. That's all it means. Then you can also go on the hourly time frame, and you can measure where this 5th wave came to. We'll actually jump up to the 3 hours so I can see everything. And you just take a trend-based fib from the top of your trend to the bottom of your wave 4, or to the bottom of your wave 3 and up to the top of your wave 4. And looks like we came down to the golden pocket right here. Take a look at the daily RSI, and we got bullish divergence here on the daily RSI. Lower low, but higher lows on the RSI. So we'll see how price plays out in this region, within this region right here. And we've also come down to the 702 retracement. When we take a fib from the October low up to the high here in March. You see how we came down to the 702? We just tapped it right there. So this is where I'd be expecting a bottom to come in on AVAX. This yellow box right here. Before we see continuation higher. So this looks like your first wave to the upside. This ABC is your wave 2. And then from this yellow box, if we see a bounce back into the range, then we could say that the low is in, and we're going to come up for a wave 3. Now to find the targets, we'd be targeting this level. The 786 on the linear scale. The reason we're doing it on the linear is because this 702 is tagged on the logarithmic scale. So if we just come up to the 786 over here, it wouldn't look sufficient enough to call it a third wave. So we're just going to use the linear scale in this case. So we'd be looking at a target of 106 to 118. And then for the targets above the last all-time high, we can also take a look at the 1.618. And let's not forget the 1.382 as well. Okay. So 181 to 235 and 106 to 118. So a nice 10x on AVAX. Nice 10x if these lows hold here. It'll probably be a macro leading diagonal, like just by looking at it. So you have an ABC within each of the waves here. And then this is your A, B, C up. And let's just remove these drawings so you guys can see. Okay. So we are running a sale in the Patreon. In the Patreon, you guys will get a link to access the Discord. Now the Discord has over 350 assets you guys can take a look at. You also get a questions and requests section, so you guys can ask me any question you want. I respond to all of the questions that are there. So in the case where I can't do a live stream on YouTube, just know that I'll be hanging out in the Discord. So if you guys ever want to reach me, then I'll see you guys there for sure. But coming back here to AVAX, when we take a trend-based fib to this, these would be the targets for AVAX. Okay. So you see we have confluence here. So yeah, this is what I'd be expecting on AVAX. Looks pretty good. Bottom around here. Same, very similar structure to that of ETH. See, this is a, let me see what this is. This is an expanded flat. So we just slightly sweep this A wave over here. Yeah. A lot of people are asking for JASMI. We'll take a look at JASMI XLR for sure. I wanna do this guy's coin here. It's XYO. He has been asking for it a lot, but I haven't gotten around to it. So we'll just take a very quick look. We won't spend too much time on it. So this is XYO. It's holding the 702. I wonder if I did a chart on XYO on this layout. Let me just check here. Alright, yeah, I did. Now this is just a rough sketch of what XYO could be doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is exactly what's going to happen. We're going to have to alter these waves as the price develops. But so far, this is what I see on XYO. I see a move back up to the range highs. Invalidation would be to see a daily close below the 786 at 0.00658. Okay, this is XYO. Just a huge reaccumulation structure. Actually looks a lot like Doge. You see how you have ascending accumulation? Looks a lot like Doge. You see with Doge? It's the same thing. All right, let's take a look at JASMI. Okay, so nothing significant has changed since the last analysis on JASMI. This does look like an expanded flat. The only thing that has changed is that this wave 5 was a little bit deeper here. Now, we have gone below the invalidation level, but this invalidation level is for if we get a weekly close below that low. So let me see here. This weekly closes in 5 days and 13 hours. So as long as we can get the weekly back above this level, then it should be looking fine. Yeah, this is JASMI right here. Very extended wave 5. And then let's check the 3-day RSI. And we have hidden bullish divergence forming, where we have a higher low on the price, but a lower low on the RSI. So I wouldn't want to see JASMI go any lower than this region over here. I wouldn't want to see it go any lower. Daily RSI is also dipped into oversold territory. The last time we were that low was back in June 2023, right before we took off. You just had a little bit of consolidation here, a little bit of chop before we blasted off. But yeah, daily RSI is looking good, oversold. Let's just measure this fifth wave, see where it went to. Okay, very extended fifth wave here. But yeah, JASMI looks very oversold here. So I would be expecting a move back up to the value area high. So let's see where the value area high is of this range. Let's just see where it is. It's sitting at 0.03, so that's where I'd be expecting a move back to. If we can get a 4-hour push back into this range and then a close above it, then we should be good for a push to this VAH. So this is the value area high, right over here, VAH, and then this is your POC. But yeah, this is JASMI. Expecting a move to 12 cent on JASMI. The reason I'm saying 12 cent is because that's simply the 786. When we take a fib from our November 2021 high down to the bear market low, the 786 is right there. Just shy of, or sorry, this is, the 786. Just shy of 12 cent. And then we can also take our trend-based fib to this to measure our fifth wave. And same region. So we have confluence at that level. You'd want to look to take major profit if we get up here. Now, you don't want to sell it all. Remember, never sell it all. Always keep some coins aside just in case we have that extension higher. But I am looking at around 0.116 to 0.127 on JASMI. One moment, guys. I'm just going to get some water. Okay. So these are all of the retracements here on JASMI. The interim retracements right here. Okay. So let's take a look at some more coins that you guys have. Yeah, the pump will be fast. I would say it would be very, very volatile. Usually when you have reaccumulation structures like this where the C wave absolutely destroys sentiment, you likely see rapid expansion. So from around this green region, this is where I would want to see a bounce. I'd want to see a bounce back into the range. We can even take a look here at Bitcoin, how fast the expansion was back in 2023. You see this accumulation range? When everyone thought it was over here. And then look how fast that expansion was, right? This was just a regular flat pattern, A, B, C. You see? Regular flat. Everyone was so bearish here, I remember it. Even I was bearish here for a bit, but it was just a flat pattern. That's all it was. So when you're in the thick of it, it's gonna feel like hell. But looking back on it, you're gonna say to yourself that it was just a blip on the radar. Remember that. That's why I always urge you guys to stay on the high time frame. Because when you're on the small time frame, you're in the thick of it. You're gonna have a lot of anxiety. You're gonna panic a lot. So if you stay on the high time frame, you'll do just fine. All right, so let's take a look at XDC next. We'll take a look at some more coins. Filecoin for sure. Yeah, 10 to 20%. 10 to 20% you keep. Daniel is saying, when in doubt, zoom out. Totally agree with that, for sure. Ado is asking, in short, how does it look and what should we expect in the next few days? So the market, most of the downside move is done. We can see that we're oversold on indices, the Russell 2000, S&P, NASDAQ, DXY is also below the 200-day moving average. Most of the coins, or pretty much all of them, we can see that the fifth wave is in, like within the C wave. Coming back to ETH over here. Coming back to ETH. You see this, you see the fifth wave. We clearly see 5 waves here. So in the next coming days, you'd be expecting chop here at the lows before we have a slow grind up and then a fast one, and then a fast push up. So look for a bottom to come in within the next week or so. But remember guys, keep your eyes on the Russell 2000. It's so important. We must keep our eyes here on the Russell. Yeah, so as long as the Russell breaks out and forms a bottom, you have nothing to worry about with altcoins. So keep your eyes on the Russell, because this is likely what the crypto market is following right now. Even in 2021, when the Russell 2000 topped, this is when the crypto market topped out, right over here. And most altcoins had a lackluster performance because of all of this chop here on the Russell. You see all this chop here that we've been going through? That's why alts have had such a lackluster performance. But wait till we see this wave 3 expansion to the upside, then you're going to see the altcoin market really take off, right? We still need to have deviation above these highs. We currently have what's called equal high buy side liquidity, where you have an equal high, but we never really swept it. So this would be your EQH BSL. Okay. So we still need to come up to tag it. Yeah, I know, right? So the mine coach is asking, do you think the low is in on ETH? The low is in around this region, I would say. We'll come back to the chart, to the wave count that I did. Let me just open it here. So this is ETH. Now all I did, just took a fib from the bear market low to the high in March. As you can see, we're on the 70.2% fib. Okay, worst case scenario, we come down to 1560. That's what I see on ETH. Either the low is in and we chop here at these lows, or we come down to the 786 at 1560. Coming down to the 786, it wouldn't be the most ideal scenario for the bulls. The wave count would get really messy if it did that. But around this region is what I'd be expecting. We also got some bullish divergence here. On the daily. So we'll see how it plays out. Let's take a look at XDC. I know a few people have been asking for it. So now, the only thing that worries me a little for bulls in regards to XDC is that we came up here in a 3-wave move. We came up to the 786 in a 3-wave move. We had a 3-wave move up, a 3-wave move down, and then a 5-wave move to the upside. So now there is a possibility that this is the top on XDC and it has a slow grind down, or instead of this being an ABC, it would just simply be a wave 3 in some type of expanding formation. Let me see here. Now, I even said this in the Discord, I'm not getting the cleanest read on XDC. I know I'm not the only analyst who can't see too well for XDC. So either this is your wave 3, we're coming down for a wave 4 before we have a wave 5 to the upside like that. And then this could still be an ABC. So this could be your ABC down, your ABC up, and then you have a 5-wave move to the downside. Let's take a closer look at it. So around this region is where I'd be expecting a bounce to come in at 0.06 to 0.05. Around the mid-range of this Wyckoff schematic. So this is your ABC down within your A. We'll make it blue so you guys can see. This is your ABC up. And then you have your 5-wave move to the downside. Yeah, so around this region. I'd just be expecting a little bit lower. Now, bullish invalidation would be to see daily close below 0.0497. So this would be your inval right here. Because then that wave 4 would be going a little bit too low. It'd be going way too low if it went below this level. So we'll call this our inval. Okay. Looks exactly like the Russell, right? The reason it looks like the Russell is because crypto follows the trajectory of the Russell 2000. There you go, boom, right over here. There's your wave count. And then from the top, if this topped out, let's say, at around 28 cents, a move down here, it wouldn't be something out of the ordinary. That's a 91% crash. And usually on average, altcoins in bear markets go down about 85 to 93%. So a move down to the range lows, it wouldn't be something out of the ordinary for the bear market. But yeah, that's what I see on XDC. Dent, please. And what is your invalidation for the run? Really appreciate that super chat, Mina. We'll take a look at Dent. I'm a big fan of Dent. I used to hold Dent in the last bull market. We'll take a look at QNT, no problem. All right, so Addo is Addo. Welcome to the channel, bro. Addo is asking how can non-traders track the Russell 2000? So I'm going to give you some very simple targets here, or some simple invalidation levels or validation levels. If we get back above this line, okay, at 2160, if we get back above it, then we should be good. So if the Russell 2000 gets daily closure back above 2158, then you know for sure, or I would say you know for the most part, that this ABC correction is done. Okay? We need to keep our eyes on the Russell. It's a very, very important ticker to watch, because nothing will move without the Russell. The crypto market is not going to move without it. It's just not. Okay, let's take a look at Dent over here. I believe I made a Dent chart on this layout. Let's go to CoinTrader Pro for Dent. Also, a few people are asking when Moon. It should be in March, April. Okay, so today is March 11th. So around maybe around March 25th, maybe around there. That's just my best guess, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. Never mind on PDI, I see it in the Discord. That's great, bro. Yeah, I did PDI for the members in the Discord. We'll take a look. So okay, yeah, so let's go back to CoinTrader and take a look at Dent. Very interesting structure here on Dent. You see this macro pennant over here? And then at the apex of the pennant, we have accumulation for over 1,000 days. So I mean, it's reaching the apex. It's going to reach a decision point very soon. Now, what we can do to find the targets is you take a fib from the very high, which would be around 10 cent, down to this low here, this bear market low, and would be targeting this level. It would be crazy gains, like really crazy gains, but this coin is you have to be careful trading this coin because it's extremely volatile, more volatile than most of the coins that we've been taking a look at. It's still within accumulation mode, so that's something you need to be mindful of. So dollar cost averaging in would be the best bet if this is the coin you're interested in. But as you guys can see, in the entirety of this accumulation, which lasted almost 3,000 days, so over 2,500 days, we have 1,000 days, over 1,000 days of accumulation at the apex. Very similar structure to what XRP did. You know, this coin also looks a lot like SIA coin. If we take a look at SIA, we can see a very similar pattern playing out. SIA coin. I'll show you guys. You see SIA, same structure as XRP, same structure as Dent as well. Same thing, right? And then you're gonna have an ABC within each of the waves. Yeah, this is SIA. And to find the target, we did the exact same thing we did for Dent. You take a fib from the all-time high down to the low. You see with Dent, we did the same thing. Be looking at the 786. SIA coin, same thing, 786. Now, why did I choose this high, the all-time high, to find the 786 target? It's because XRP had the exact same structure. Let me just get it for you guys here. XRP had the exact same structure, and we also stalled at the 786. You see? Same structure. And then accumulation at the apex. Same thing as Dent. There's your accumulation at the apex. Looks very similar, right? The only thing that's missing on Dent is this expansion. Now, now what we also notice is a head and shoulders structure here on Dent. Now, usually when you spot these head and shoulders at the lows, they usually don't break down. They actually reverse upwards. I'll show you an example on XLM. It had a head and shoulders structure at the bottom. You see this? You see this head and shoulders structure? Right over here. Boom. Reverse. Just like that. So, pretty interesting structure here on Dent. But yeah, XRP. So the reason we chose the 786 here, and we took it from this high, is because XRP did the same thing. I'll show you. Look where it stalled out at, right at the 786. So it's not a mystery on why XRP stalled out over here. The only reason it stalled out is simply because that's the 786. We did wick a little bit above it, had some deviation above it, but this is where the correction started, around the 264 to 332 region. See? So yeah, that's Dent, see a coin, and a little bit of a throwback on XRP. Invalidation for Dent, I forgot to mention that. Invalidation is close below the 702 on the logarithmic scale. So that would be sitting at 0.00396. Get a daily closure below it, then it's invalidated. But even if we were to come down to it, would be expecting it would be just a deviation. Yeah, this is a replay, so no need to worry. If you guys need to go for work or something, you can always come back to it. Like, come back to the video and rewatch it. Yeah, Disco Duckbill, he's saying that Dent reminds him a lot like the PulseX chart. I agree on that. So we're gonna take a look at a few more coins here. We're about 30 minutes away from market open. Let me just go to this PulseX chart. I just want to show you guys something here. just trying to find the chart that I put it on. Is it this one? Damn. There's so much pulse X's here. But yeah, so Disco Duckbill, he was just saying that the structure on Dent, it reminds him a lot like Pulse X, right? You have your pennant, and then you have accumulation over here. Like you just have consolidation within this region before you see the push up. But yeah, that's what he was just mentioning. Yeah, I know. I gotta put it on my watch list. So T and Nugent is asking for CRV. We did cover CRV at the beginning of the live, and we also covered in the last live. I think Tian is also in the Discord, so if you're in the Discord, just check CRV today. I did an update this morning. And also, guys, if you want to sign up on the Discord, make sure you don't sign up on your iPhone or on an Apple device, because I think they messed up the prices or something like that, so it's a little bit more expensive. So if you want it cheaper, then do it on the web version or the Android version. Crypto Vision Trader is saying the sentiment is in the toilet. The fear and greed index reached 15. I've never seen it that low before. This guy is right. I've never seen this. I've never seen the fear and greed index reach that low. And the sentiment is really bad right now. You have the biggest bulls switching to being bear. So whenever you see that, it likely means you're going to see a nice pivot come in. So we'll take a look at a few more coins. VRO, VLO. We'll try to take a look at XLM. Well, I also wanted to let you know, whoever's holding Dent, you may see deviation like this, okay? And you may see it even come down to the 702 right over here, but I wouldn't panic, considering that we've been within this range for about, let me see here, for about over 1,000 days. So if we see deviation, don't panic. Let's take a look at Velo. One of the channel members is asking for it, so So Velo looks like ascending accumulation. I can show you an example over here. Or right here. Something like this. This was Binance Coin back in 2020. So now there's two scenarios here on Velo. It must hold the level it's currently on. So this is the 7, so we took a fib from this July low up to this high in January. This is the level it must hold. Otherwise we're going to break down below this trend line support and come to this region here. So it's either we see a push up now or we see a push up later. But I'd be mainly targeting the 61.8% fib and the 70.2% fib when we take a fib from the all-time high down to the bear market low. So as long as this level holds over here, then then it's likely we're going to see something like that. You may even see a push to the 786, but I think that this would be all she wrote if it does something like this. So just remember, if Velo pushes up like that, like this, you'd want to take profit aggressively, because there's no guarantee that it's going to continue its move up, because this is this doesn't look impulsive, it looks corrective. So that's Velo. What other coins you guys got? Dot for sure. Music playlist is asking for JASMI. We took a look at JASMI. It's currently doing an expanded flat. It's looking fine. Let's take a look at Dot. So this is the last coin request I'm going to be taking a look at, and then we're going to move back to the most important charts, which would be the SQQQ, Russell 2000, DXY, and the NASDAQ. And we'll finish on some good news. Now, Polkadot, it looks exactly like Mina coin. So if we take a look at Mina coin, you see how you have this structure? Same structure here on Dot. Now you may see a wick down to 323, but if it does do that, don't panic, because that would just be the 78.6% fib. We'd still be looking at the same take profit targets, with the first one being 16 to 19 bucks. Okay, so it's just within an accumulation range. Remember, there's two things you want to look at before investing into a coin. Number one, does it have price-based capitulation? Does it have price-based capitulation? Yes, here's your price-based capitulation. We went down by 92.83%. Okay, so that's number one, checked off your list. Number two would be, does it have time-based capitulation? Yes, it does have time-based capitulation. We've been within this range for about 1,000 days. So when you have both of these combined, that's how you know it's going to be a good buy. But you have to also be careful, because you're going to be buying into a range, right? And this is where knowledge of Wyckoff comes in. So if you know Wyckoff, you would want to look to DCA the most within phase C to phase D. Okay. So you see, this is phase C and this is phase D. So if you can accumulate on the right part, on the right side of the range, then you should do just fine. But you'd mainly want to look for two things: price-based capitulation, time-based capitulation. That's what you'd want to look for. Now, when it comes to the fib supports on DOT, these would be the fib supports right here. I just took a trend-based fib from this swing high down to the low and up to the counter trend. Yeah, so around here is where I'd be expecting a bounce to come in. We may make a new low. If we do, I wouldn't panic, because that would likely just be your spring. Your spring right here. So we'll see how it plays out. 1,000 days of accumulation at the lows after a 93% drop. I would say it's unlikely it's unlikely we would break down significantly unless some fundamental news came out. But let's take a look at the most important charts over here. Let's take a look at SQQ. And yeah. And then we'll end the stream. I may do one tomorrow. Okay, so on the hourly, SQQ formed a topping tail over here. I would be expecting this gap to get filled at around 36.41 to 35.42. Russell 2000, let's just do a quick health check on the Russell. It's looking pretty good so far, and ending diagonal within the fifth wave. And we've also hit the 61.8% fib. Don't be surprised if we see chop around this region before we have a blast off to the upside. We have a perfect ABC correction over here. And the DXY is also lost support. So that's something to be very mindful of. And we're below the 200-day moving average by about 1.58%. So to me, as an analyst, I would say we have all the conditions or all the prerequisites for a risk-on environment. When it comes to XRP, this is what I see on XRP. Let's just see. So yeah, XRP, likely to just see chop here at the lows. Chop here at the lows. For now, I'm going to classify this as a head and shoulders fake out. That's what I'm going to classify this as until proven otherwise. Yeah, it may have the breakdown, but remember, there's many moving parts to an analysis. And seeing what I've seen with the rest of the market, my bets are on that this is just a fake out. And we should be making a new all-time high soon. Likely above $5. $5 to $7 we should see around there within the coming months. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream today. We'll be doing another one tomorrow. If you guys want to stay in touch with me, or if you guys want to have more of your coin requests fulfilled, then definitely click the link in the description below to join the Discord. I hope you guys have a beautiful morning. Peace out and take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.